Not getting any water on this fire. This is the George Harvey & Sons warehouse. It's on Stansbury Road, just south of the Stansbury Park in Dundalk, Baltimore County, right near Peninsula Highway. Now, no word on the cause of this fire, but you can see the debris clearly to the right side of your picture. It appears that those are cinder blocks, and they are blown completely across that street, so apparently some type of an explosion here. No word on exactly what's on fire inside this building or what is stored in the building, and there's no word on injuries at this time. Firefighters still evaluating exactly what they're up against here, but you can see this thing is really cooking, and heavy, dense black smoke drifting across Peninsula Expressway. This has not affected traffic in any serious way in the Dundalk area, but fire officials are going to be here for a while getting this thing under control. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Captain Mike Perry reporting live from Sky Chopper 13.
It was a shocking crime. A prominent Annapolis businessman carjacked and brutally murdered. Even more shocking, charges were dropped against one suspect because of a technicality. But tonight that has changed, and Eyewitness News is live at federal court downtown. Gigi Barnett explains Leander Blake now faces federal charges. Gigi.
Well, it's taken years for this case to reach federal court. Prosecutors say what didn't work at the state level may work at the federal level. For years, a lengthy court battle that reached the U.S. Supreme Court blocked state prosecutors from trying 21-year-old Leander Jerome Blake in the 2002 shooting death and carjacking of 51-year-old Strawn Lee Griffin. Today, a federal grand jury did the job by indicting Blake for Griffin's murder.
A federal judge and jury will decide whether or not Mr. Blake is guilty of the carjacking and murder of Lee Griffin.
Prosecutors say it was an alleged confession given to police the night Blake was arrested for the crime that tied the case up. A circuit court judge threw the statement out because police continued to question Blake after he asked for an attorney, and that shut the case down for years.
At that time, there was an unusual provision in Maryland state law. That state law required that the case be dismissed if the prosecutors unsuccessfully appealed a pretrial evidentiary ruling.
Prosecutors say on the night of September 19, 2002, Blake, then 17, and his neighbor, Terrence Tolbert, then 19, shot and killed Griffin in his Annapolis driveway just blocks from the State House. Police say they stole Griffin's Jeep and ran him over with it.
This is the day that the wheels of justice will again begin turning for Leander Blake for his part in the death of Lee Griffin.
Federal prosecutors won't say if they'll use Blake's alleged statement, but they aren't bound to any state court ruling to throw it out. And that means a brand new trial for Blake and Strawn Griffin's family.
I haven't yet talked to the family as a result of what's happened here this morning, but I know they'll be elated.
Blake turned himself in last night. He will stay behind bars until a federal judge decides next week whether to keep him there or to let him go before his trial. Meanwhile, that trial date has not yet been set. Denise, back to you on TV Hill.
All right, thank you, Gigi. Now, Blake is not eligible for the death penalty because he was a minor at the time of Griffin's murder.
The investigation continues into the massive fire at an Anne Arundel County apartment complex. Sally is in the newsroom with the latest. Sally?
The cause has not yet been determined, but there is good news. The firefighter injured in the blaze is out of the hospital. You can see the destruction at the apartment building in the 7800 block of Woodside Terrace in Glen Burnie. 25-year-old firefighter Justin Davidson suffered only cuts and bruises when he fell 3 stories while looking for hot spots. A second firefighter was also injured by falling debris. She was treated and released yesterday. Kai?
Thank you, Sally. The fire department says 37 people were displaced by the fire.
Face-off in less than an hour. The debate gets underway for the 2 leading candidates for the Democratic nomination for U.S. Senate. Eyewitness News is live downtown. Political reporter Pat Warren has a preview of the showdown. Pat?
Hi, Denise. We are live at MPT, Maryland Public Television, where that debate will take place. And this controversial Senate race also has a controversial debate to go with it as the candidates who were not included continue their protest. In 12 days, we'll know which Democrat takes on Republican Michael Steele in the race for U.S. Senate. Tonight, Ben Cardin and Kweisi Mfume duke it out in a now controversial televised debate sponsored by the League of Women Voters.
The League neither supports nor opposes any candidate.
But the League gets a grilling from candidates Alan Lichtman and Josh Rales, who have been left out of the debate.
How does your criteria fit with your previous criteria over the last 20 years?
I haven't compared them.
Oh, you haven't? You think you should have before you made that decision? Would that be relevant?
Rules may vary from one election to another, but this year candidates had to have polled at least 15% in order to make the cut. Rales, Lichtman, and Dennis Rasmussen protest.
Instead of talking about poll numbers, we should be talking about principles.
It's up to the organizers to determine the ground rules, but all of us that have been major candidates have been together at different times.
But tonight's debate brings the Senate race out of the community and into the living room, a place where, at least on television, Kweisi Mfume's campaign is yet to venture.
I don't look at polls.
Mfume's supporters may not look at the polls, but it got him into tonight's debate, although it shows him trailing Ben Cardin by 13 points.
Polls notwithstanding, the best one will be in about 13 days. And that's right. I hope that's reported wide and reported well. And I have said all along that this seat is so very, very crucial that the Democratic Party and good Democrats from all over this nation are going to fight like hell to keep it Democratic.
Whoever shows up, I'll be ready.
Tonight, we expect to hear on the issues including the war in Iraq, the environment, energy, and education. And we're also going to hear from some of the candidates who were not included in the debate. Back to you on Television Hill.
All right. Thank you, Pat. WJZ-13 is always on. Check in with Eyewitness News. We'll have complete coverage of Campaign 2006 as the primaries fast approach. Count on us for the latest developments. And we'll have expanded coverage election night. For updates, go to WJZ.com.
Tonight, traffic is back to normal on 695 in White Marsh, but that wasn't the case a few hours ago. Sky Eye Chopper 13 is over the scene just after noon today. You can see a car carrier went off the road, losing several new cars in that process. The driver was not seriously injured. There's no word on what caused that crash.
Don't drink the water. That is the lesson at one Harford County elementary school. As Jessica Cartalia reports from Forest Hill, school officials are doing everything possible to keep children safe.
Lunchtime at Forest Hill Elementary. One thing that isn't on the menu, the water.
Water now is, the well water is used only for flushing toilets and washing the floors. Bottled water is used for everything else.
Last year, MTBE, a hazardous chemical used in gasoline, was found in a well supplying the school's drinking water. The toxin is known to cause cancer. This week, the amount of MTBE in the water reached what school officials call alarming levels.
Now, just to ensure that kids don't come in contact with the water, they're using these portable hand washing systems outside of the bathrooms, and then instead of drinking water from the drinking fountain, they're drinking bottled water.
And that's not all. The school is using throwaway plates and plastic utensils in the cafeteria. Pots and pans are sanitized with bleach, but still, parents are concerned.
This is my son's 5th year here, so I'm a little concerned that he has been drinking the water for 5 years, and if there's any danger in that.
Health officials in Harford County say short-term exposure to the chemical isn't harmful, but the school continues to play it safe.
We have developed a relationship with our community that they trust that we're going to do what's best for children and what's safe for them.
We're taking every possible precaution just to make sure they're safe and their children are safe, and we'll do that until we find a longer-term solution, which we're researching now.
School officials tell Eyewitness News they're looking into adding a new filter system, but until they figure out where exactly the MTBE is coming from, they'll continue to use bottled water. Denise?
All right, thank you, Jessica. Now, Forest Hill is the only elementary school in Harford County having problems with their water.
Still ahead on Eyewitness News tonight, men, listen up and help watch how use of a common household drug could prevent prostate problems.
We'll keep you updated on the breaking news, a multi-alarm warehouse fire in Baltimore County.
I'm Richard Scher in Pasadena. Riley disappeared 3 weeks ago after his owner was almost killed in a traffic crash. And now they're reunited. The heartwarming story, you'll see it next, only on Eyewitness News at 6.
Ready for the rain? When will it arrive and how much should we expect? Stick around for the complete first warning forecast.
Eyewitness News continues. Complete coverage with Denise Koch, Vic Carter, Bob Turk with First Warning Weather, and sports with Mark Viviano. This is WJZ-13, Baltimore's news station.
Get a 2006 Lancer ES for only $13,599 after a $1,000 factory cash rebate. This offer ends soon, so hurry to your local Mitsubishi dealer today. Mitsubishi, driven to thrill.
we go nonstop too. Introducing Southwest Airlines' new nonstop service from BWI Airport to Detroit. Fly nonstop for just $49 one way with a 14-day advance purchase by September 14th.
You are now free to move about the country.
I'm shooting my new film in the jungles of Mexico.
The Mel Gibson exclusive. Then,
on to Chicago.
Starting Tuesday, Robert F. Kennedy, The Assassination. Now, an E.T. movie event on E.T.
Tonight at 7:30.
Now through Labor Day only at Bob Bell Ford. 0 for 72, regardless of credit history. On all 2006 Ford vehicles. 0 for 72, regardless of credit history. Bob Bell Ford, Route 2, Glen Burnie. 877-4BOB-BELL.
Why is John Sarbanes running so hard for Congress?
Because there's a lot of work that needs to be done, like lowering the cost of health care and getting better care for patients, giving everyone a chance to make the life they want with first-rate schools, protecting Social Security, saying no to George Bush's risky privatization plan.
Why is John working so hard to become our congressman?
John has always worked hard. It's part of who he is.
I'm John Sarbanes. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Now through Labor Day only at Bob Bell Ford. 0 for 72, regardless of credit history. On all 2006 Ford vehicles. 0 for 72, regardless of credit history. Bob Bell Ford, Route 2, Glen Burnie. 877-4BOB-BELL.
It's time to kick off a new season, so we're taking up to $200 off Lazy Boy recliners. It's the Lazy Boy Furniture Gallery's Labor Day sales event with no payments until 2007 and no interest until 2009, plus big savings on furnishings to finish off any room. And it's topped off with a 13-day prize giveaway. You could drive off in a new Chrysler minivan, let Molly Mae do the dusting off, or take a load off in a custom-built Lazy Boy recliner. But hurry in before we call the whole thing off.
We want to update the breaking news from Dundalk. A massive warehouse fire. Sky Chopper 13 remains over the scene, as you see, and Captain Mike Perry has an update for us. Mike?
Yeah, hi, Denise. This is a 3-alarm fire now at the Henry A. Harvey and Sons. It's a wood cabinetry place. Apparently they make wood cabinets and other woodworking that goes on. So there's lots of fuel for this fire. As you can see, the roof has completely collapsed at this time. Firefighters are in what they call completely defensive operations. They're putting copious amounts of water from outside the building. No firefighters are inside at this time because, as you can see, it is very, very unstable and unsafe situation. We've seen collapses of 2 walls since we've been here, and most of the roof now it has collapsed. And heavy fire now coming out of the fronting of the building. As Bill pans up here, you can see it's now out where the firefighters are on the front side. This is Stansbury Road right near Peninsula Highway, actually known as the Chesterwood Park area of Dundalk, Baltimore County. Lots of folks stopping along Peninsula Expressway, which is not particularly a good idea, but obviously a fire of this nature is going to draw a lot of attention to it. Firefighters doing a real good job. All they can do at this point is just throw a lot of water on it, and 3 alarms potentially going to go to a 4th alarm here as firefighters try to salvage whatever they can of the neighboring buildings. Back to you.
All right, and we have every reason to assume that building was empty, right, Mike?
Yeah, we have no word on any injuries at this time. Again, firefighters can't even get inside and determine what the cause is at this time, because you can see the whole building now is fully involved in flames.
All right, thank you, Captain Mike Perry, live in Sky Chopper 13. We want to show you how large this fire is. This is a look at the smoke from several miles away from WJZ Harbor Cam. There are reports the fire can be seen from around the city. We'll have a live update coming up at 6:30.
It's been almost 4 weeks since we first told you about Riley, the dog. Riley ran off into the woods after his owner was almost killed in a car crash in Delaware. For Riley's owner, whose wife died early this summer, this has been an almost impossible ordeal. Tonight is great news, and Richard Scher brings us to it from Pasadena.
Welcome home, Riley. Jim Labrador's 20-month-old Labradoodle, who ran off August 6th after Jim was involved in a traffic crash in Delaware that left him critically injured, and his other dog, Buddy, with a dislocated hip.
Nobody has spotted him. Nobody has seen him. Nobody called. But my sister-in-law, Kim, wouldn't rest until we found Riley.
It's so bittersweet for Jim and his sister-in-law, Kim, and their family. Jim's wife, Debbie, had died of cancer June 16th. The dogs were their boys. Now Jim had lost Riley. Kim had distributed flyers in the Greenwood, Delaware area where the accident happened. Jim too injured to join the search.
I just wanted to somehow be able to pitch in also, because I knew how special this particular dog was to Debbie.
Then amazingly, there are 3 Riley sightings this past weekend, not far from the accident site. Sightings by a woman named Debbie.
When we found out it was Debbie, it was just like we just smiled. We just, it brought back a lot of memories of Debbie.
We never gave up. We knew that he was out there and we were going to find, him and bring him home. And it was just amazing that it happened to be a lady named Debbie.
And all I can do is, once again, is just thank you for everything you've done for me.
Hey, you don't have to do that.
It's like having my kids back again.
And we kept talking to her, saying Riley needs to come home. So we believe it. She was looking out for him.
Jim's family is so appreciative to Debbie and Marge and all of the people out in Greenwood, Delaware, off of Route 404 for all they did to find Riley and finally put a smile on Jim's face. Kai, back to you.
What a smile he has, Richard. Thank you. Riley dropped 14 pounds while on the run, but we understand he's now making up for the lost weight.
Well, if he's got some Labrador in him, he'll do that quickly, too. He'll eat anything.
That's a great story. What a neat
cute dog.
Okay,
yeah.
We've got some horrible weather headed our way, particularly this time tomorrow night. Some heavy rain expected. Take a look at temps right now. Nice and cool, 72, and it's dry. Humidity only 53%. The dew point down to 54. Winds northeast 15. The barometer 30, 14, holding steady. Come back and take a look at that Friday mess right after this.
This is the show for you. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Every family needs a hero. You can make a difference. This is your family. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? That's an honest answer. Change is good.
I got that too.
I love my job. New season, new station.
September 11th, Dr. Phil's new home is WJZ-13.
This Labor Day, make the most of your time and save big at Lowe's Big Labor Day event. Right now, all full-size gas grills are 20% off. Buy 5 vinyl fence panels and get the 6th panel free. Get a free gift card up to $150 when you use your Lowe's consumer card on major appliances. Put it all on your Lowe's consumer credit card and pay nothing for 12 months on any purchase that totals $299 or more now through September 4th. Hurry in to Lowe's Big Labor Day event. Lowe's, let's build something together.
Dear Dr. Z, I know Daimler Chrysler invented the minivan, but how is the quality?
Kim, check out our unique stow and go on the Dodge Grand Caravan and this Chrysler Town Country. And both minivans are 5-star crash test rated.
But
hey, look what I found. JD Power Award for the highest ranked van in initial quality.
It's back. Employee pricing plus 0% financing. Get our employee price on most 2006 Chrysler and Dodge vehicles.
WJZ is always on for constant weather updates and first warning of severe weather on TV, online. WJZ is Baltimore's news station.
Announcing the Bill's Carpet Fair Holiday Sale. Markdowns on everything.
Got carpet? Do we ever? We're way overstocked. So during this holiday sale, you'll find prices cut to the bone. Plushes, Berbers, every style, every color, even hardwood flooring, all on sale. And best of all, you get free financing. That means you pay no interest. But hurry, if you need carpet and don't see bills during this holiday sale, you're making a big mistake.
Your taste buds called and said they were bored.
Time to wake them up, like only Popeyes can do. Get 10 pieces legs and thighs for only $5.99. 10 pieces legs and thighs, just $5.99. Popeyes. Aye, poppin' flavor.
Closed captioning of WJZ Eyewitness News is brought to you by the Buick Lucerne, a boldly designed luxury vehicle to exceed your highest expectations. Buick, beyond precision. For more information, visit Buick.com. Now, first warning weather, complete forecast, and the first warning of severe weather.
Uh-oh. Brace yourselves. Major mess coming.
Yes.
Warning.
We talked about cleaning out your storm drains, perhaps on your street if they've got leaves or trash clogging. Get cleared out so the rain, the water can go down the storm drain and not back up into your yard or in your basement. Also, if you've got a basement with a little drain at the bottom of it, the steps, Clean that out so that water goes into your drain out to the street, okay? And your gutters should be taken care of by now, because that's going to probably overflow as well. You don't want a wet basement. We've got some pretty good rain headed away. Remember back in June we saw 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches of rain. It looks like that's the same kind of scenario. Some spots getting a little more than 4 or 5. Most areas 3 to 5 or 6 inches of rain starting tomorrow, ending on Saturday morning. Take a look at temperatures around the region. It's really pleasantly cool, only in the low 70s, even some upper 60s around the region. Nice breeze, too, 10, 15, 20 in some spots. And tomorrow, the winds will be a factor, generally between 15 and 25 or so, with some gusts to 30. And on the eastern shore, Ocean City could see wind gusts up to 40, so some gale-force winds possible along the beaches. So we do have that flash flood watch in effect for most of the region for the effects of that heavy rain. Some of the mountain areas, some of the rivers will definitely be in flood stage, perhaps, although we've had a bit of a drought in the last couple of weeks, and so the rivers are pretty low, so it's going to take a lot of rain to do that. But if it comes in a short period of time, we'll see some flash flooding, and that's very likely, so be very careful. On the western shore, tides could run 1 to 3 feet above normal. Late tonight, maybe a foot above normal. Tomorrow night, a better chance of higher tides because of the constant east and northeast flow of wind we've been seeing. There is the storm right now off the South and North Carolina coast, moving all that moisture up into the Carolinas. Heavy rains down there, and that rain will eventually spread over the entire region from Ohio to New Jersey, New York, up into Pennsylvania, New York as well. It's going to be a big area of swath of rain. As you can see, I mean, talking like 1,000 miles worth of rain. It's going to get through here, however, by about, let's say, Saturday afternoon. We might even start seeing a little bit of clearing, because once the storm center passes our region, our winds will come around from the west or southwest and start to dry things out somewhat. So there's some hope for some drying for Sunday particularly. There's a storm moving up the coast right there. Going to probably come ashore tonight around 9:30, 10 o'clock. Right around Wilmington, North Carolina. There you see it on the computer model, heading through the Carolinas into Virginia, around west of Richmond, up 95, eventually just west of the Baltimore region, we think, and into Pennsylvania. It's expected to be right around State College, Pennsylvania, or maybe central PA by Saturday afternoon, and gets out of here. Flood watch on the Bay Area, and the gale warning as well. East winds 25 to 35 with some gusts there. As you can see, a really rough day in the Bay. Temp on the Bay, it's still at 79. So overnight, maybe some showers, 62. And tomorrow, the rain really comes in, particularly afternoon and tomorrow night with the heavier activity. 3 to 6 inches of rain expected across the region. Some spots getting a little bit more than that. 69, 64. So a raw, windy, very wet day coming up tomorrow.
All right, we are warned. Thank you, Bob.
Still ahead on Eyewitness News tonight, everybody. Back behind the mic, Baltimore radio legend Steve Rouse has a new gig. Find out what he's doing.
Run for cover. What sparked a gunfight in this normally quiet Baltimore County neighborhood?
Powering back up, Tropical Storm Ernesto takes aim at the Carolina coast. This is that warehouse fire right now, though, that you're looking at in the Dundalk area.
Help take the heat out of summer travel with Easy Pass on the go, offering $25 in prepaid tolls valid from Virginia to Maine. It's available at all Mars supermarkets, select Annapolis area giant food stores, and Central Maryland MVAs. This year, enjoy your trip as well as your vacation.
The all-new Mazda CX-7 has got the press making a lot of noise. And it all started with a whisper. The turbocharged, direct-injected 2007 Mazda CX-7 Sport starts at $24,310. Or get a special introductory $299 a month lease for 24 months with $29.74 to a lease signing. The SUV you never saw coming has arrived.
WJZ is always on. For constant updates and videos of developing stories, click WJZ.com. On TV, online. WJZ is Baltimore's news station.
With premium features like available Sirius satellite radio, in-dash navigation, comfortable seating for 6, and a 5-star government frontal crash test rating, why fly when you can drive first class? Chrysler Pacifica. Get employee pricing plus 0% financing on most 2006 Chrysler vehicles. If not satisfied, simply return it within 30 days.
Do you love quality wicker and rattan furniture but hate that long drive to the Eastern Shore? There's a new and exciting wicker and rattan furniture store in Towson, Casual Living Wicker and Rattan. Whether you're furnishing a beach house, sunroom, or just crave the tropical island feel of beautiful, comfortable wicker and rattan furniture, visit our new 10,000 square foot showroom just behind Gardner's Furniture on East Chopper Road in Towson. Ask about our free delivery to the Maryland and Delaware beaches. At Casual Living, we are casual.
For the teams of the new Amazing Race, it's not how far they go, but how much closer it brings them.
Tom is my soulmate. I think I'm going to have to pull Terry along.
I am a Muslim, and I like to dress this way.
Don't identify me with the person who you may think is a terrorist.
I'm Miss California 2005, and Candace is Miss New York. I think there's a lot more than meets the eye with Dustin and I.
The Amazing Race begins CBS Sunday night, September 17th, after 60 minutes.
This is WJZ-TV, WJZ-DT, and WJZ.com, Baltimore.
Right now, complete coverage, breaking news, and first warning weather. This is WJZ-13, Baltimore's news station.
Good evening. Thank you for staying with Eyewitness News. Here are some of the stories people are talking about tonight. Let's update you on that breaking news that we've been telling you about. A raging warehouse fire in Dundalk. Sky Eye Chopper 13 remains over the scene. Let's go back to Captain Mike Perry for an update. Mike, you said earlier firefighters were simply in a defensive mode.
They still are, and they've just gone to a fourth alarm. Having very, very difficult time getting water here. The problem is there's only so much in the way of water pressure that's available to them. They've actually now called a fourth alarm assignment here, and they're going to send those trucks down to the waterfront area, the Chesterwood Beach area, and start drafting some water actually out of the Patapsco River, or Bear Creek, which is the upper end of Bear Creek. So right now, this is the Henry Harvey and Sons. Just to recap for you, a short time ago, a fire, an explosion here. No word on how it occurred, but you're seeing now is what you're seeing there is a foam truck. They're trying to get into action over here, actually to start assisting in this fire because they can't get any more water on it. But no word on injuries. This is a cabinetry and wood making or woodworking shop that became fully engulfed in flames, and you see now is just about burned almost 100% of the building. There's lacquer thinners and all kinds of things in here that will actually burn and burn very hot. So firefighters being on the safe side, they actually had to back away 4 pieces of fire apparatus that were too close to the front of the building. As the fire came to the front of the building, they were concerned that they were actually going to collapse onto the fire truck, so they had a mad scramble to get fire apparatus away from the front of the building. No word on any injuries to firefighters at this time, and you can see they really have their work cut out for them well into the evening tonight, I'm sure, before they get this thing under control. But a fourth alarm and possibly more the way this thing's going. Back to you.
Yeah, so Mike, if this thing burns out or goes out anytime soon, it may be more to the fact that there's nothing left to burn as opposed to the water putting it out.
That's pretty much where we're getting to now, because the building is I would estimate 80% consumed here. The fire, most of it in the front of the building now. The fire apparently starting in the rear of the building on the right side of the shot. It's difficult to see with all the smoke, but we could actually see cinder blocks blown across the roadway. So some type of an explosion obviously occurred inside of this building. The fire emanating from that area right now where you're looking at, and has burnt all the way to the front of the building. It's a very large building. I would estimate probably 10 or 15,000, maybe 20,000 square feet. A lot of fire apparatus here and a lot of water being put on it, but to no avail, I believe, because it looks like everything here is going to go.
All right, thank you. Captain Mike Perry reporting live from Dundalk in Sky Chopper 13.
Well, tropical storm Ernesto continues to gain strength and could become a hurricane before it makes landfall in the Carolinas tonight. Complete first warning weather coverage continues with Terry Okita, who reports for WJZ from South Carolina.
Through upgrades and downs, it appears Tropical Storm Ernesto desperately wants to be a hurricane. Long-range radar shows a potential eye wall forming and winds hitting at least 75 miles an hour. Signs that Ernesto could eventually reach Hurricane Category 1 status. Coastal North Carolina could bear the brunt of the storm. They're more concerned about water than wind.
We expect to have a total rainfall from today, tonight, and tomorrow of 6 to 8 inches. That is enough to cause streams in urban areas to flood.
Landfall is projected somewhere between the North and South Carolina border. National Guard units are on alert and voluntary evacuations are underway at beaches, barrier islands, and low-lying areas in both states. Authorities don't have to warn 71-year-old Rose Wilson. She headed straight to an emergency shelter.
Whenever the hurricane season come in and they come to the shelter, I normally do.
Charleston County is operating at OPCON Level 1, which means a disaster or emergency situation is in effect, and it's at maximum preparedness levels. Schools, government offices, and courts are closed in Charleston. With up to 8 inches of rain expected, flooding is a major concern. Residents are trying to shore up their homes with whatever sandbags they can find.
Put sandbags down on top of the plastic.
Officials are asking people to ride out the storm safely indoors as forecasters continue to track Ernesto's unpredictable behavior. Terry Okita, CBS News, Charleston.
All right, let's check in with Bob Turk now in the First Warning Weather Center, where the storm is right now. Bob?
All right, the storm's already past Charleston, but it's heading up toward, really toward Wilmington, North Carolina, and the Cape Lookout area, and also Cape Hatteras. Take a look at the radar. It's moving right now up to the north-northeast, right at 17 miles an hour. These are the current winds, really not all that strong, 23 knots, 27 knots. That really is only around 25 to 30 mile an hour winds. The strongest wind gusts I can find here at 34. That's about 38, 39 miles an hour. So not that windy right now, but it's going to get windier later tonight, and it could easily become a hurricane between now and about 9 or 10 o'clock. It's expected to come ashore around 9:30 around Wilmington, North Carolina. Denise.
All right, thank you, Bob. Stay with WJZ and First Warning Weather for complete coverage of Ernesto. WJZ-13 is always on. You can go to WJZ.com anytime for updates on the storm's path and the latest pictures and video.
Sentencing today for a Baltimore man convicted in the firebombing at the home of an activist who reported drug deals in her neighborhood. Sally is in the newsroom with details on his punishment. Sally?
Kai, a judge sentenced 26-year-old Cedric Bauman to 15 years in federal prison for conspiracy to commit witness tampering and the use of fire and explosives to commit a felony. Prosecutors say Bauman met with 7 other people to discuss the attack in January 2005 at the home of Harwood Community Association President Edna McIver. 3 of those people were convicted after the trial. 4 other people have since pled guilty to various charges. Kai, back to you.
Thank you, Sally. McIver was not injured in that attack.
4 people are now under arrest after gunfire in Baltimore County. It happened in the Gray Manor area of Dundalk. Shortly after, officers found 3 suspects hiding at a nearby grocery store. The 4th arrest came later. Investigators tell Peggy Lee they found plenty of evidence at the scene.
13 pages of charging documents show 4 people between the ages of 16 and 22 are now under arrest today, stemming from an incident in Dundalk yesterday evening. Baltimore County Police say it all began around 6:30 Wednesday night here in Gray Manor. Sky Eye Chopper 13 over the scene at Lombardi Drive after gunfire erupts from a Lincoln Continental and a Ford Escort, hitting at least 2 houses. Blue evidence cups shown here cover shell casings that fell to the ground.
There was basically an argument that turned into a shooting match on a street in a normally quiet residential area of Dundalk. And then they started chasing one another through the streets in their cars, a Lincoln Town car pursued by the Escort.
This neighbor says he was walking his dog last night when he heard what happened just doors from his home.
I was stunned. I was really actually stunned to see this in the neighborhood. Usually it's quiet.
Police found the Lincoln Continental parked outside this Mars grocery store here on Wise Avenue. Once inside, they arrested 2 men near the back. They found a female suspect in the deli section. They recovered 4 guns from inside the Lincoln.
The grocery store was shut down temporarily last night as police searched inside for evidence.
Discovered some bags of marijuana had been stashed behind bottles of salad dressing. And a little farther down in the same aisle, they found a handgun.
Although no one was injured, one Mars cashier described a chaotic scene during the arrest.
I was ringing up some of the customers and I had turned around, and when I turned around, a whole bunch of cop cars had pulled up and they had their guns drawn and went up to the car. And when they went into the back of the car, they had found a gun, and then they surrounded the outside of Mars and all the officers had come inside.
Now, Baltimore County Police are still looking for 28-year-old Clifford Robert Moore in connection with this shooting. Anyone with information should call Baltimore County Police. Denise?
All right, thank you very much, Peggy. The 4 face multiple charges, and police say they are charging the 16-year-old as an adult. Well, time now for a quick look at some stories you'll find in tomorrow morning's edition of the Baltimore Examiner. Baltimore County developers reach a deal on a new housing on land owned by the Country Club of Maryland. The historic Rouse building in Columbia is at risk of being torn down when the community is redeveloped. And the inspirational story of 3 UMBC graduates who rode 6,200 cross-country miles to raise money for diabetes research and to build a boarding school in Kenya. For all these stories and a lot more, read tomorrow's Baltimore Examiner. And remember, look for weather stories from WJZ's First Warning Weather team.
In tonight's Eyewitness News Health Watch, an aspirin a day may keep one type of doctor away. Health Watch reporter Kelly Lynn explains.
Regular aspirin use appears to reduce prostate problems in men. Men who reported taking aspirin or other anti-inflammatory drugs like ibuprofen every day had a 25% reduced risk of developing moderate to severe enlarged prostate symptoms. Men should always check with their doctor before taking any medications on a regular basis. And the Food and Drug Administration is warning the public about buying drugs over the internet, primarily from websites operated in Canada. The FDA warns the medications could be fake and may not be safe. Some Canadian pharmacies that sell online say the FDA is targeting them because prescription drugs from Canada cost less than in the U.S. Back to you.
Cholesterol drugs Lipitor and Crestor were among several found to be counterfeit by the FDA.
Still to come on WJZ's Eyewitness News, we will update you once more on the breaking news, a huge fire in Dundalk.
Bob Turk at First Warning Weather Center, watching the rain headed our direction. I'll have the exclusive First Warning 5-day forecast. Eyewitness News. We'll be right back.
Coming up tonight at 11, all eyes on Ernesto as the storm heads our way. How could it impact Maryland? Complete First Warning weather coverage. And an Annapolis murder suspect thought he was a free man, but now the federal government has something else to say. The latest in the Blake case, right here on WJZ-13, Baltimore's news station.
Dovell and Williams Glen Burnie. They can match the perfect Isuzu and GMC commercial truck to fit any job at the lowest price. Dovell and Williams, they know trucks.
It's here, but not forever. The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. See your Lexus dealer before this opportunity disappears.
On Election Day, your one vote is more powerful than the politicians and special interests. We've let them control our country for too long. Politics as usual has brought us a declining middle class, high gas prices, failing schools, and a war without end. I'm Josh Rails. I approve this message. I'm not a politician. I'm running because it's time someone took a stand. People say I'm an underdog, but if we don't stand up for change, who will?
We go nonstop too. Introducing Southwest Airlines' new nonstop service from BWI Airport to Detroit. Fly nonstop for just $49 one way with a 14-day advance purchase by September 14th.
You are now free to move about the country.
It's here, but not forever. The Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. See your Lexus dealer before this opportunity disappears.
Right now at Value City Furniture, enjoy this soft leather touch recliner for just $99. Don't miss the half-off Labor Day weekend sale through Monday.
Don and Marty have coffee with the gospel music superstar Donnie McClurkin tomorrow morning at 6.
The Hyundai Challenge Summer Clearance is on. The new Hyundai Elantra beats Corolla when it comes to interior space. You also get standard dual front and front side impact airbags. There's never been a better time to get the fuel-efficient Hyundai Elantra. It costs $2,800 less than a Honda Civic, and Hyundai's award-winning quality lets us offer America's best warranty. Take the Hyundai Challenge during the Hyundai Challenge Summer Clearance. For a short time, get a new Hyundai Elantra with $1,000 cash back. Offer ends August 31st.
Updating you on the breaking news we've been reporting about all evening, an out-of-control fire in Dundalk. Sky Eye Chopper 13 remains over the scene, and Captain Mike Perry has an update. Mike?
Still at 4 alarms. Firefighters making good progress, running out of things to burn here, but Henry Harvey and Sons on Stansbury Road off of near Chesterwood Park in Dundalk, Baltimore County, heavily involved in flames. No word on injuries, and you can see a lot of folks, a lot of neighbors out here concerned as big, heavy, dense black smoke drawing quite a crowd, folks along Peninsula Highway and neighbors. But unfortunately, at this time, we have no reports of injuries to either firefighters or anyone inside this building. Obviously, it's going to be some time before they actually get this fire under control. Back to you.
Thank you, Captain Mike Perry. And Sky Eye Chopper 13 will have the latest on efforts to put out the fire and the investigation tonight at 11.
Eyewitness News has some more breaking news to tell you about right now. There has been an arrest at today's Senate debate in Owings Mills. Political reporter Pat Warren is there live with details. Pat.
Kai, you know, as we told you earlier, both at 5 and at 6, there was some controversy about tonight's debate because of the fact that Alan Lichtman, Josh Rales, and Dennis Rasmussen, 3 other candidates in the Democratic primary for Senate, were not allowed to participate in the debate. What started out as a fairly quiet news conference outside erupted into some severe arguing between the police and Lichtman, who was handcuffed and then taken away in a police car. His wife was also arrested. Some protesters are still outside here. We don't know whether or not there will be any further confrontations. But again, the highlight, the headline, is that Democratic Senate primary candidate Alan Lichtman has been arrested. Back to you.
Yeah, Pat, this sounds like the Alan Keyes arrest of several years ago, actually, for a similar situation.
I do remember that. It was a similar situation, but the League of Women Voters set certain guidelines. They said that you had to have polled 15% in a major poll by July of this year in order to participate, and Lichtman did not make that cut.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Their organization, their rules, their game, I suppose. Pat Warren reporting live from Owings Mills. We'll have more on the story coming up tonight, of course, at 11 o'clock.
That's going to be interesting. Bob Schieffer has a preview of what's coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, right here on WJZ-13 Baltimore. After 18 months here at the anchor desk, I'm heading back to Washington. Please join me as I welcome my friend Katie Couric on tonight's CBS Evening News. And now back to you on Television Hill.
Thank you, Bob. Here's a look at tonight's closing numbers from Wall Street. We'll be right back.
Where did you get this mattress?
At the warehouse.
Mattress Warehouse?
Mm-hmm. I got a great deal. And the best part is, it comes with a mattress guy.
Mattress guy?
At Mattress Warehouse, we treat our customers right. And during our Labor Day blowout, you'll get guaranteed lowest prices on all name brand mattresses. Hurry, the Labor Day blowout ends soon. Mattress guy not included.
He's great with the kids, too.
Ooh.
Mattress Warehouse.
These are some of our nation's most challenging times. That's why we need experienced leaders in Congress. I'm supporting Paula Hollinger. In the Senate, Paula led the fight to make long-term care more affordable, reduce the cost of prescriptions, and pass the new stem cell research law. I know because we worked on many of these issues together. She's experienced, she's effective, and she never gives up. Paula Hollinger is the little giant who'll stand up to George Bush from day one.
I'm Paula Hollinger. I approve this message.
Do you love quality wicker and rattan furniture but hate that long drive to the Eastern Shore? There's a new and exciting wicker and rattan furniture store in Towson, Casual Living Wicker and Rattan. Whether you're furnishing a beach house, sunroom, or just crave the tropical island feel of beautiful, comfortable wicker and rattan furniture, visit our new 10,000 square foot showroom just behind Gardner's Furniture on East Chopper Road in Towson. Ask about our free delivery to the Maryland and Delaware beaches. At Casual Living, we are casual.
As Bob Schieffer turns the anchor chair over to Katie Couric, join us for a salute to a remarkable journalist and friend tonight on the CBS Evening News.
The decision to send Americans to war, Congress's most solemn duty. But when fewer than 10 members of Congress have family at risk of serving in Iraq, is it any wonder they refuse to end George Bush's war?
As the father of a Marine who fought in Iraq, I understand what our troops are going through and how George Bush has failed them. I'm the only candidate with a detailed plan to bring our troops home, because it's time to tackle the tough issues. My name is Oz Benger, and I approve this message.
Looking for furniture? Look no further than Chauffeur's Furniture. During our Labor Day sale, save 30 to 50% on every living room, every dining room, every bedroom. Then, pay no interest on your purchase for 15 months. Come over to Chauffeurs and see why Baltimore Magazine calls our service and selection the best of Baltimore. So furnish your home with 30 to 50% savings during the Labor Day sale at the all-new 70,000 square foot Chauffeurs Furniture.
Another cool, cloudy day in Charm City. Here's a live look through the WJZ Harbor Cam. There is a chance of rain tonight in the Inner Harbor. We're live with First Warning Weather complete coverage. Bob has what we can expect tomorrow and for the next few days as Ernesto comes north. Bob?
Yeah, overnight tonight, some showers, but tomorrow, that's when the rain comes in. Looks like a terrible day tomorrow, particularly late in the afternoon tomorrow night. That's when the heavy rain could move in. 67, 68, that's about as warm as it's going to get. The wind's up to 30 miles an hour. That combined with the rain could knock down some old trees, so there could be some power outages and some coastal flooding as well. 69 tomorrow, breezy 74 on Saturday. Things will dry out. Sunday, partly sunny, 80, 82 Monday, and chance for late day shower. Tuesday, a high of 80 degrees. Kai.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. Here's one last update for you right now on the breaking news, that huge fire in Dundalk. Let's go back to Captain Mike Perry for the latest. Mike?
Yeah, Kai, you're seeing lots of white smoke here. Now, that's a good sign. That means this fire is starting to give it up a little bit. 4 alarms worth of equipment here. No reports of injuries at this time. This fire is just a little over an hour old. It consumed this entire wood cabinetry warehouse. Obviously, Eyewitness News will stay on top of this story and continue to keep you updated throughout the evening on a cause. But as you can see, firefighters still have a little bit of work to do here. Back to you on TV Hill.
Thank you. Captain Mike Perry reporting live from Dundalk.
Be right back.
People could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance by switching to Geico. It says here, new customers report average annual savings of over $500.
Easy money.
Easy money. You do have to go to geico.com.
Which is like what? Asking you to stand up? Hello there, you know, if you stand up, you could save loads of money. I doubt you're going to be like, no thanks, I'm so rich, I think I'll keep my seat.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The following is a special announcement. It's the final summer bonus at Fox Auto and Truck Discount Centers. Get featured cars like a brand new 06 Chevy Trailblazer up to $10,000 off the MSRP. This weekend only at Fox.
4 years ago,
under Paris Fundenning,
Maryland was in tough shape.
Huge budget deficit.
A bay that was dying, schools that needed funding.
Bob Ehrlich said he would change Maryland.
And he has, turning a deficit into a surplus.
Without increasing income taxes.
A bold plan to clean up the bay.
And fully funding every school.
Just like he promised. Today,
Maryland is on the move. More people are working today than ever before.
And he's still fighting to keep taxes under control.
Bob Ehrlich.
Bob Ehrlich.
Bob Ehrlich. He's still changing Maryland for the better.
Get a heart-pounding deal on the 2006 Mitsubishi Eclipse GT. Hurry, offer ends August 31st. Mitsubishi, driven to thrill.
It's our greatest Labor Day sale ever, with 15 months of free financing going on right now at Gardner's Furniture. Everything in every showroom is on sale. Get an additional 10% off all Kincaid bedrooms, dining rooms, and living rooms. And get up to 50% off all Hooker furniture. Plus, all Simmons bedding is on sale. It's the store-wide Labor Day sale going on now. Gardner's Furniture. Let us help make your home more you.
Special announcement. It's the final summer bonus at Fox Auto and Truck Discount Centers. Get an 06 Silverado up to $15,000 off MSRP, or get up to $10,000 off MSRP, plus 0% for 60 months. This weekend only at Fox.
Beltway rivalry tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Football final warm-up it is for the Ravens as they play the Redskins in Landover. Final preseason game, Steve McNair will start at quarterback, get in a few series of plays, then let Kyle Bowler take over. Well, for 3 years, Bowler was the main man, but McNair's arrival has pushed Kyle to the bench. It is a demotion, but Bowler has taken it well. And he played well as a backup in the preseason game at Minnesota last Friday, scoring on a touchdown run here around the end. Much has changed for Bowler. He's been benched, and get this, he's grown a beard. Most importantly, he's ready if needed.
It's one of those things where you never know what's going to happen, and I got to be prepared to help this team win. And when I'm out on the field, you know, if it's something I'm starting or if I'm backing up, you know, anything I can do to learn from Steve, and you know, if my chance comes, I need to make sure I'm ready to go in there and play. So, you know, I'm just working hard, just you know, like almost as if I'm the starter, just preparing just like I'm the starter, and you know, if that time comes, then you know, I'll be ready.
Ravens play tonight, and from the Ravens to the Bears, the Morgan State Bears. We caught up with them during practice this week, preparing for their season opener Saturday at Towson. It's the 5th season for Morgan head coach Donald Hill-Ellie, coming off a 2-9 year, looking forward to Saturday's kickoff.
Just glad that we got another opportunity to line up. You know, it's good that it's a nice hometown battle in our backyard against Towson. Good for the community. It leads right into the Labor Day, and just looking forward to a good showing.
Morgan plays at Towson Saturday at 6. In baseball, the Red Sox have scratched David Wells from his scheduled start against Toronto tonight. He's been traded to the San Diego Padres. Today is the last day of trades for a player to be eligible for the playoffs. Now, the Orioles aren't headed to the postseason, but they've got a few bright spots to count on for the future, like Nick Markakis continued his red-hot August with another home run last night. 9 home runs in August is the most ever by any Oriole rookie in any month. The O's beat the Rangers 7-4. They're going to wrap up that series in Texas tonight, going with another future hope. Pitcher Daniel Cabrera starts tonight's game. He has not allowed a run in 16 straight innings. Texas sends Adam Eaton to the mound. The Birds are in the midst of a 9-game, 3-city trip that takes them to Oakland after